Pisces, guess what? 2023 March is the beginning of the rest of your life. This is literally going to be the beginning of what is one of the most important journeys of your story, no matter how old you are, having Saturn in this month of March, starting to move through your first house for 3 years, but beginning on March the 7th is a game changer. It only happens every 30 years, so it matters. We're going to talk about Pluto as well as he moves into Aquarius, another big, big deal this month for the whole world. And in general, I want to say this is a big month for everybody. Huge energies are going on because all planets are changing signs in the month of March. It gets insane. Well, not all planets, but almost all planets. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Pluto all hightail it to different parts of the sky, and that's going to change how you feel about your reality, your world, and your life in a huge way. So for you guys, this is really about a really huge, significant redefinition of who you are in the world and who you wish to associate with, who your friends and allies and community will be. This is the beginning of a longer change arc that will take 3 years, and then according to Pluto, it'll take like another 20 years, and you're going to start to get the first taste of it. You know how it would be like if somebody, when when you're at the restaurant and they come up with a glass of wine and they say, do you want to taste it first? Yes. Well, that's what this is. This is March. This is your first sip of the radical life-changing directions that you're heading into. Oh my God, over the next 3 years and beyond that into 20. So let's get going. First of all, because you're a Pisces rising, I want to also mention that Lord Jupiter, the ruler of you, is doing some really nice stuff for you in the month of March as well. So first of all, let's start off with the very beginning and talk about Jupiter because it's simple and it's easy. Jupiter is Santa Claus, ho, ho, ho. He's a benefic. He brings fairy godfather's blessings to you, and he's your dude, right? Like he's your caseworker planet. We call him the helmsman of your chart, or the ruling planet, or, you can use various phrases, whatever you like, or the Lugna Lord in India. But he's the key planet for you to pay attention to, and he's a pretty slow mover. He goes through one sign in approximately 1 year. So in that case, it's not hard to keep track of the guy. He's not whizzing around the heavens like Mercury, like 3 weeks in a sign or less, right? So this is important because this is a time when it's a very, very, very lucky, very, very fortunate connection between Venus, the lesser benefic, and Jupiter, the greater benefic, and they're coming together at the very tail end of February, like the last few days of February and the first 2 or 3 days of March. So it's kind of bleeding through. They'll say the last 5 days of February, and it's also exact in the first 2 days of March. So this whole period of time, Jupiter, your Lord, meets with Venus, another benefic planet in the house of money. This can be a pop, an opportunity, or the experience of something positive happening in your finances. It also pertains to possessions, and Venus in your second house, Aries, where this conjunction is happening, sure loves her possessions. So you could get an opportunity to, get a new possession, buy a new possession, win a new possession. I don't know. She brings luck, so does Jupiter. But also just the financial bonus points here coming on at the end of February, where you're starting to feel really good about money. Now, and just because Venus and Jupiter are joining together at the end of February and the beginning of March in your money house doesn't mean it's like, show me the money, that you see it instantly, especially with Jupiter there. He's like planting the seeds for better money stories, protecting you financially until the middle of May. But this could be one of those moments with Venus co-present and then on top of Jupiter, the conjunction, where you do see indeed this like moment of financial happiness. Also, it could be a time of enjoying some pleasure that you put in your mouth, a fine wine, a good dinner, amazing food, or something like that. It's a short transit, but because it kind of goes all the way through February, end of February last week, and into the first few days of March, it also has a longer meeting than just one good dinner or one good glass of wine. All right. So there's some really good news for you this month. That was the good news. And this is something that you are going to experience, as basically a feel good transit. That's how I would call it. Venus is also leaving your second house of money, or the second house of that financial protection during the month of March. And she's going to hightail it into Taurus, which is going to be on the 17th, St. Patty's Day. So she starts off the month basically on the 3rd by slipping her little tail out of Aries and into the sign of Pisces. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I have to rephrase that. Sorry. On March the 17th, she slips her little tail out of her little, what do you call it, tomboy tail, because she's in Aries, she's doing the tomboy thing. She slips her tail out of Aries, her Xena Warrior Princess self out of Aries on March the 17th, St. Patty's Day, and will be in Taurus for you for the second half of the month, all the way through, in fact, until, April the 11th. This is also very auspicious for you if you want to take a trip, especially if you want to travel somewhere within your own country or not too far from home. And also if you want to travel to see a sibling, or potentially they could visit you, or finally some good news with siblings or about them. And lastly, this energy of her in your Taurus third house is also really auspicious for anything to do with the online world. Or, if you're doing any kind of marketing, selling, or you have a website or social media, this is your once every year kind of Venus loving you up there in her home sign, in her dignity, in her place of comfort, looking back over her shoulder and giving you some kisses, okay? Starting on St. Patty's Day, from the third house to your first house. And you're going to need those kisses. You're going to want Venus to be sending you big love energies from your third house, because it will be on March the 7th that Saturn enters into your house of your body, your identity, and your sense of self. If you are a Pisces rising, and this is always most accurate for the rising sign. And hey, if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. Hit the like button, subscribe, and check my description box. I'm teaching my Sky Reader class in March. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. I even forgot to do my intro for you guys. With Saturn coming into this, I'm a whole sign Hellenistic astrologer. With Saturn coming into your first house, really pay attention to those of you who have a rising sign between the first and, let's say, the 8th or 9th degree of the sign of Pisces. And this is because Saturn is just tiptoeing in to the 7 degrees during 2023. The middle Pisces people will get more of this energy more intensely in 2024. And the last 10 degrees of the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and more actively rising sign will get more of this energy, connecting to them more deeply in 2025. So Saturn will be here from March the 7th of this year until February of 2026. It's a long, long transit. It tends to grow you up. I just did a video, part 2, and there's also part 1 in my big 2023 playlist. I encourage you to watch it, because I'll go into a lot of depth for you as a Pisces about what it's like to experience this incredible transit. Or check out my 2023 hour-long video for your sign in my description box, where you get more details about everything that happens to you in 2023. But certainly this is a highlight. And so first of all, I already experienced this. I'm an Aquarius rising. Saturn was going through since like March, April of 2020, all the way till, oh gosh, it's been an ordeal. Like, let me tell you, all the way until like now, right? I'm passing the baton to you, Pisces. I'm like, I've been through it. Here you go. It's your turn. Oh, and makes me laugh. So you're going to feel old. You're going to feel responsible. You're going to have, you need a lot of shoulder massages. Saturn is like, you're going to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are deeply responsible, dutiful, hardworking, perseverant. You don't give up. You keep on going. You are like the ever ready bunny, but you want to be alone more often, and you can be tired a little bit. And you may find that you just have to go slow. Saturn does not move fast. Nothing happens fast. What he's trying to do is give you a new identity, a new sense of self. It's a bit of a grow up. Like, I mean, this can happen to anybody at any age, right? So if this is happening to you in your 20s or 30s, of course, you're not going to say you feel old. I doubt you will, but you will feel mature. You'll feel dutiful. You'll feel responsible in some way. When Saturn went through this part of my sky back in my late 20s, 28, 29, I had my first child. I was suddenly thrust into motherhood. I felt so responsible as Saturn went through Aquarius. And I would, I'm a mom. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's hard work. Okay, get it? So it's not to make you feel worried about this, because ultimately, because Lord Saturn is the Lord of your 12th house of enlightenment and spirituality and, foreign lands and income from foreign lands. And because Saturn's also the Lord of your 11th house of powerful friends and allies who help you, of your great gains from your career, whatever he's doing here for you, when he's in this place in your sky over the next 3 years, is going to help you with 11th house financial gain, great gain from your career, as you re-identify who you are and get more deeply in touch with soul, God, and enlightenment energies at the same time. Now, it's not the first time you thought about God, soul, and enlightenment, because when Saturn was going through the sign of Aquarius, which was March of 2020 to March 7th of this 2023, then you were also getting down with enlightenment, because that's like a sadhu transit, like the wandering saint, the Himalayan mountain dwelling, cave dwelling, hermit energy. Okay. And so a lot of you felt like, oh my God, like, where's my life? Is it falling apart? Like, what's with the worldly thing? I'm not down. You know, you may have been near or with people in hospitals. Sometimes it looks like taking care of the underprivileged, working on charitable issues, spending time in a hospital. Sometimes it involves the loss of somebody through their health decline, because you're in a connection to the house of death during the time that Saturn is moving through. Saturn moving through your house of Aquarius, 12th house, is activating your house of death that he exalts. So you may have also received an inheritance anytime since March of 2020, but it also just meant you needed to be alone. And being alone was good for you. So there's still some of that going on as Saturn goes through your first house, but it's not as intense, because Saturn does exalt your house of other people that you want to ally yourself with. That 11th house is still very active. I pulled a card for you about this Saturn transit. I'm going to do this for every single sign for this month for the Saturn transit. It says, ground yourself in nature. It's from my friend Renee Baribeau, author of The Wind of Spirit. She's a shaman, award-winning book. Ground yourself in nature, Pisces. You got to get through this, get your little Pisces feet into Mother Earth and get grounded to get through this kind of transit. Now we're talking 3 years, right? So it's not like just the month of March. Second of all, the next big thing I want to tell you about, other than you're reforming your entire identity and you're starting now, is that you're getting that first sip of wine as well, that taster wine of Pluto in Aquarius this month of March. Pluto moving into Aquarius after he's been in Capricorn since 2008, hello, is a freaking big deal. I have a whole video on it in my 2023 playlist, including stuff about your sign, but touching on it this month, this is the beginning of what will be a testing teaser taste between March the 24th, technically, and all the way until the 11th of June, where you're getting a sampler of what it's like to have Pluto power in your 11th. Now, Pluto power in your 12th. Did I say 11th in your 12th? And this is going to mean that if you've ever thought that you wanted to get down with God, if you ever thought that understanding the nature of reality, understanding where soul fits into your life matters, Pluto will deliver it here. I went through this Pluto transit and I had 2 spiritual awakenings. My blog is called theawakenedreamer.com. It will activate that potential in your chart. Second of all, Pluto going through this part of your sky can deeply and profoundly transform 12th house matters. Some of you will begin to generate revenue in a powerful and super wealthy way, money, wealth, power, Pluto, through connections to foreign shores. Now, when I say foreign shores, I mean foreign shores, foreign from your birthplace. That could be doing business, barter, and trade with someone from a foreign country, extracting revenue from a foreign country like I do. So let me use an example, because when Pluto was going through my 12th house, as someone who's using YouTube and all of that stuff, and using PayPal and Stripe accounts to generate money from everywhere in the world for everyone who pays me for a service or product, I have become more wealthy when Pluto went through my 12th house, and it didn't start right away. So no, not in 2008. I started generating online revenue halfway through that transit, maybe in 2013, 14, when I started doing stuff with foreign magazines, working as a magazine editor for the Goodman Project magazine, Elephant Journal, and then eventually moving into my own online business. So like, you can look for that longer arc. Pluto is connecting you in some way to 2 foreign lands houses, the 9th and the 12th. Some of you may go back to school. This can activate the 9th house of foreign lands. So yeah, definitely some of you could move to a foreign land with this transit, but you can also have big things happen because of foreign lands. The next thing that'll happen is if you want to learn something. A lot of times this Pluto transit is a back to school transit for people. Not always, but it's angular to the 9th house of higher education and the 3rd house of skills-based education. So I did go back to school. I went back to school and I became a Hellenistic astrologer. Yeah, it wasn't a university. I went for the 3rd house education, but some of you might go back to university and re-educate. Some of you might go back to any other thing, get a license, get a degree. During this transit, I almost got my master's in transpersonal psychology early into the transit, decided I didn't want to be a psychologist. So you'll find yourself called maybe to study. And this is a taster teaser sampler, right? This March 23rd, rolling out to June 11th. Just a taste, just a teaser, just a sample, right? Now we're going to break down the month away from those bigger like outer planet stories, and let's move away into the Mars changing sign story, right? You've had Mars since August 20th, going through your fourth house of home, property, real estate. If you use whole sign houses and your IC is in the fourth house, that's the Imium Coli, it's literally the bottom of the sky, the midnight part. This is also your home. But if you have Mars through here, whether or not your IC is there or not, you may have been feeling like you need to change your home. You may have been more nomadic. You may have been moving your home. You may have been breaking away from an existing home. You may have had conflict with someone in the home you were living with. And now, don't forget, we're talking August 20th, and Mars is finally leaving this month. Yes, this month on March the 26th. Woo! Mars headed direct on January 12th after being retrograde from October 30th. If you go back and think about it, there were some big decisions, internalized decision making going on about home matters, whether it's to build a home, construct a home, end a home, leave a home, or stop fighting with somebody in a home. And now you're past that story and you're moving on. Hallelujah. But when Mars gets out of there at the end of the month on March the 26th, just for the last 4 days, you're going to get a flavor of Mars in your fifth house. If you have children, you could have conflict with them or separation or distance from them, especially if they're adult children, distance from them, I hope. Younger children, just fighting a lot. And that Mars transit on March 26th will last 6 weeks. And we'll be doing a whole video on that. But it's also Mars in his detriment in the fifth house. And Mars here could cause conflict in sexuality or existing love romantic storylines in your life. But if you're a self-starter with your own business, he can help you make executive decisions and get going on business matters. Okay. Moving forward with your business stories. Okay. Also, moving into the big planet picture, I already mentioned that Venus will start loving you up on St. Paddy's Day, March 17th through to April, and giving you a really lovely third house love up. But let's talk about the difference of where Mercury is going as he changes signs in March. He's giving you a 2-act structure, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, marketing, selling, emails, text, conversations, marketing and merchandising, and stock markets. Okay, so first of all, Mercury will go from March the 3rd to March the 18th. He will be in Pisces. Well, you know what that is. That's you. You are communicating, writing, phoning, emailing, messaging, thinking, coming up with ideas. It's all about you. You and Mercury are simpatico. And you're doing all these idea gestating things. And Saturn's also joining the fray with Mercury, right? From the 7th to the 18th. So you can come up with sustainable long-term ideas or plans that go the distance, Saturn. So any ideas you conjure, any plans, also emails, phone calls, text messages, strategies around stuff you wish to do are all highlighted in the March 3rd to the March 18th timeframe. Then next, March 17th to March 19th, apologize for that, March 19th to April 4th. That's my birthday, everybody. Mercury will be moving through the next sign, which is the sign of Aries. And Aries is a sign for you that is about your money, marketing, merchandising, and selling, and money, and communication, and maybe activation of the stock markets, because it's across from your 8th house, are all very, very highlighted in the second half of the month, as Mercury from the 19th to the 4th of April, 19th of March to 4th of April, does what he needs to do to support you in your second house of flow of cash and income. Sometimes here he gets you to sell something, and sometimes he gets you to buy something. So that kind of barter trade, buy and sell energy, active in a house of possessions. Buy a new car, sell a car. Buy a new sofa, sell a sofa. Buy a new wardrobe, sell a wardrobe. You get the gist, right? You may be very, very busy, though, with Mercury here when it comes to things you need to tell the world, speak. And you may be negotiating deals and contracts regarding business and career endeavors. So that is the second half. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do on this part of the story is kind of break down a few of the transits that are happening during the month. Because the way I operate on my channel is that I always, if there's something really big in the sky, and do a whole video on it. And then it's an all signs video. So I would encourage you to subscribe, because then you're going to be getting notifications if you hit the bell when I do I'm going to touch lightly today on some of the stuff I'm going to go into really great depth with. Now you'll notice I don't cover the new moon, full moon cycle in these recordings, because I do my whole hour-and-a-half long videos for the public for free every single month on YouTube. And you just have to go into that one, get a hell of a lot more information than I'm going to be able to give you, covering every new moon, full moon cycle every time. All right, it just doesn't it's just not necessary to do it twice. All right, so let's go through the month in a bit of a chronology. That might be useful to some of the highlights that I want to pick out for you. I already mentioned the Venus-Jupiter conjunction on March 1st and 2nd, bringing you a love up in your finances and a golden opportunity financially. Then we have March 6th and 7th. We have the sun in Pisces in the sign of you, giving you extra vitality and lighting up your soul energy. Well, you have a sextile from that sun to Uranus in Taurus. There could be an unexpected opportunity for a trip, an unexpected opportunity to do something with a sibling, an unexpected opportunity to go out viral online with something you're creating, because it's all third house, first house matters. You're kind of the agent of it though, because you're the sun, and so it's like something, but there is the unexpected. And sometimes with Uranus, even though you think you got a handle on what I might be telling you, you might be surprised. They're like, when I say an unexpected trip, you win a trip, or like someone buys you a ticket or something weird happens like that. Alrighty, so then around March the 10th, 11th, 12th, this is a big time in the sky. There's a lot going on, guys. There's going to be a whole video on this March 10th to the 12th time frame. Number one, Venus will sextile from the sign of Aries, which is your earnings and money house, Mars moving through your property and home. This could be moving your home, buying a home, selling a home, changing a home, having money because of a home. Changes around home and money are happening, but because it's a sextile from Venus, it's very positive. This is good energy. This is positive energy. It's opening up a nice flow around home and money. And again, for some of you, it could be as intense as buying or selling a home, or just renting or changing home. But Venus is making sure that everything's in place. She's got your back. You got what you need here to make it happen in a capable and resourceful way. Or you may have the money now to do the construction and the rebuild and the redesign, or the extra addition to your home, the wing, because that's what Mars does too. He does home renovations when he's in the fourth house, and Venus provides the money for that. Next, you will have, it's this all happening the same time, right? March 10th to the 12th. It's intense. Next, you will have in the same time zone, Mercury sextiling Uranus, the god of surprises. Well, Mercury in the house of you, giving you a little shock and awe from the house of trips and travel, siblings, and online world. Again, similar to that Sun Uranus thing on March 6th and 7th, Mercury's just taking it a little bit further and adding an extra spice to it around the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Simply said, conversations you're having around the 6th and 7th could escalate to some surprising developments that involve things to do with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, trips and travel, online world, educational projects, and things like that. Also, nieces, nephews, and cousins, and all of those extracurricular relatives. Finally, in the same window of time, you also will experience this energy of Saturn sextiling Juno. Now, Saturn is all about commitment and love, or lasting anything, lasting contracts, lasting agreements. Now, long-range plans, things that go the distance, the marathon. When we talk about Saturn, like if you're a writer, we're talking about J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter series, right? Because that's a Saturn story. That's like a freaking quadrilogy that kept on going. Or writers who have voluminous, like Stephen King, work, and they just they age into being a writer. So I'm just using it as an example because Saturn now is finally in the house of you. You're feeling this mature, responsible energy, and you're having a chance to make the Neptune transit that's been there since 2011, making you mystical, foggy, and deluded, confused and unsure about yourself, including mystical visions and imaginations. Anyway, all that's coming home to reality with Saturn. But that Saturn placement, okay, in a sextile to Juno is very interesting. Juno is going to be at 0 degrees, and so will Saturn be around March 10th and 11th. And where does this happen in the sky that Juno wants to provide a story? Okay, this is really cool. This is Juno in Taurus. Taurus is a fixed sign. A fixed sign wants long-term commitment. This could be a business contract that involves travel, that involves education, that involves something in your local neighborhood, or that involves your online world, that you're going to have a long-term relationship to this arrangement or agreement. This could be the beginning of some long-term connection to somebody that they need to travel to connect with you, or you to them. This could be a commitment about travel schedules. This could be a commitment about an educational skills-based learning process. It's hard to say, but because Juno will be in that third house for you for quite a while, and in fact, she'll be there until May 2nd, there's a lot of things to do with negotiating and talking about and partnering up with people who are third house people, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces and nephews, childhood friends, people in your local neighborhood, or people that you need to get in touch with because of the word travel. So pay attention to that for sure. Alrighty. And it's also including the house of siblings. And if you're a Pisces with a younger sibling, it's even more so the younger sibling. Okay, but it can just be siblings in general. On the chronology front, to continue, what else is going on here? What's going on is this. You're having, as we progress on the March 13th and 14th time frame, you're having some tension in the sky between Mars and Neptune. Now, this is an old story. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but this is the third time Mars and Neptune have, since last August, been in a fight with each other, a square. And so there's something about the 13th and 14th of the month that's happening in the sign of Gemini, where Mars has been your home, your property, your real estate, your land, your mother, the house of the family of origin, legacy, wealth. Okay, all of that stuff. Mars is down there. And now he's having that square to Neptune for the third time since August. This Neptune square is your confusion, illusion, delusion, as Neptune has fogged your vision around fourth house matters. So again, this is also, watch out. Mars might say, let's do this. Let's build this house. Let's gut this house. Let's renovate this house. Let's move to this house or whatever. And unfortunately, with the square to Neptune, he may not know the direction he's really supposed to go, because Neptune can obfuscate and confuse matters, make you too hopeful, too dreamy, and too optimistic, too rose-colored glasses about an opportunity regarding a move. So be very cautious around that theme around March 13th and 14th. Okay, pause. Let this transit pass. Wait until to make a decision. Mars's decisions. Don't make decisions around those themes until Mars ideally leaves this part of the sky. And I already told you when that was in the beginning. That's around March the 26th. Yeah, March the 26th. And next, there's a strong chance that when you get to the 15th to the 17th of the month of March, alrighty, you're going to find yourself experiencing some interesting and very succulent energies. There's going to be a triple conjunction. It's called a Kasimi. All right. Now, this is going to be 3 planets, the Sun and Mercury and Neptune, all at 25 degrees of the sign of Pisces. If you have your ascendant sun or moon near 25, within 3 or 4 degrees of Pisces, this is important. Pay attention. But for all Pisces, you'll feel it. Mercury is getting downloads from the divine soul of the universe, the sun, from your soul, from the Atman. He's getting his new instructions because he's been invisible, and he's going to be born again on the other side of the sun. So this is a new, brand new birth of Mercury story. The messenger, the money god, the communicator, the marketer, the ideator, and he's meeting with the sun in the house of you, and he's conjunct Neptune, the dreams, the visions. This is so divine. This is like you could have a divine download or inspiration from God, and a mission from God. You could have something really juicy happen. If you're an artist, you could download the music, the song, the book, the creative project of your lifetime. In general, the day of the Kasimi, which I believe is the 16th, but why don't you sign up for my subscribe, and you'll know exactly, because I'm going to do a webinar on this. I'm not going to do a video. You can sign up for a webinar, probably do it for free, because it's such an important time. Because as that triple conjunction happens in the sky at 25 degrees, there is also a sextile to Pluto coming up right after it, as Mercury leaves the triple conjunction within a day or two and has a powerful and potent sextile to Pluto and Capricorn, which could lead you to becoming very capable of generating a great deal of financial gain on the other end of that Kasimi, or getting a communication from somebody in a position of power that's really important for your career or your ambitions in life. Also, during the Kasimi, Mars will be in a square to the Kasimi. Oh, this is pretty intense, guys. Okay, what can I say about the Mars square, the Kasimi? So Mars is still until the 26th of the month, okay? Still hunkered down, and this is happening. Oh, did I say the dates of the Kasimi? I apologize. Yes, I did, didn't I? Oh, it's happening around the 19th to the 21st of the month or so. It's kind of bundled into the 15th, 16th, 17th energy, okay? And 15th, 16th, 17th energy, that's what I want to say. And then it sort of bundles into a little bit further the 19th and 20th. Because Mars is doing a square, we're back to that thing about not getting confused, right? Not making decisions yet because you're not sure. So this, even though there's magical download and divine inspiration and incredible power that can connect you to people in power, and it all looks so good, you just need to give yourself a breathing space because of the square to Mars is a little bit daunting. So wait till at least the 26th or 7th or 8th to make decisions around the things that are happening at time of the month of the 15th to the 20th. Now, 21st. Now, also Venus will sextile Saturn. That's March the 18th. That's pretty sweet. That's always a lovely spot in the sky when there's a flow between Venus and Saturn because they like each other. And I'm not going to tell you why, just trust me on that. So Venus sextiling Saturn has its own kind of story for sure. Number one, when Venus is sextiling Saturn, she's just moved into her next place. Yes, she has. Venus has moved into the sign of Taurus, and she's in the early start off of that, the very early degree of 1 degree of Taurus. Well, you have Saturn over there, like kind of 0 degrees of Pisces. This is something to do with money or love, and lasting and enduring. Lasting love, enduring money, lasting money. Could involve a trip. Could involve travel plans, it could involve siblings, it could involve things to do with higher skills-based learning, but it will improve money, it will improve love. It will give it a kind of sober, realistic, and almost friendly vibe, okay? So keep that in mind. It's very friendly, a sextile. And sometimes it's flirty, but it's Saturn, so I'm not too sure what to say about that. Okay, those are some of the highlights of the month. And at the very tail end of it all, because I don't want this video to be forever, I've got 11 more to do. Venus will conjunct, Mercury will conjunct Jupiter. And Jupiter is your Lord, right? We need to pay attention to Jupiter, Lord of your sky. This is on March the 28th. It's happening around 18 or 19 degrees. Now, when Mercury and Jupiter come together, it can be good news about money or good news about markets or stock markets or good news about anything. It's Jupiter good, Mercury news, usually, or Jupiter good, Mercury ideas. Okay, so March 28th, pay attention to that. It's happening in Aries, it's happening in your second house of earnings and money. For you, it's definitely a good prosperity outcomes, a financial opportunity, a raise, a negotiation, a salary, a new agreement about our employment or money story is going on here for you. Alrighty. Then Venus will conjunct Uranus. That's a happy surprise about love and or money. And sometimes Venus Uranus could be like winning the lottery. Anyway, that's happening at the very end of the month, on the 30th and the 31st of the month. So you're going out strong here, and Venus connecting to Uranus in Taurus could be some unexpected, exciting developments around a sibling, travel, trips, skills-based learning, or something going on in your online world. If you're a Pisces who does online social media, that's a bit of a celebrity, micro-celebrity viral moment, or something really exciting happening about a female in your life who may go back to childhood, and there's some good news there. Third house, a sudden exciting opportunity to travel in relationship to money or love matters. And that's happening on March 30th and 31st. Finally, the last thing that's happening in this month that you might want to note is that Mars will trine Saturn. That's very functional. That's very good, hard work energies. But here's the thing. Mars trining Saturn isn't where it's been forever. Now it's Mars moved into your house of romantic love, children, and independent business enterprise, and trining Saturn in that house of your identity. It's the beginning of a 6-week cycle that's going to go from March the, 26th, really, add 6 weeks, where Mars is helping you be creative, ambitious, and directed, have willpower and momentum regarding independent business enterprise, romantic love, your children, creative ideas and projects. And the trine is to you. So Mars is looking over his shoulder, forming a flow of luck and opportunity to the Saturn, who's making you so much more responsible, so much more adulted up, so much more in your serious groove. All right, Pisces, I hope that helps. Remember, your card is called separation, but that is not the thing. It's Egyptian, by the way. The Shu, the ancient Egyptian god. It's the key words here are ground yourself in nature. You're going to need to stay grounded. Who wouldn't want to do that anyway? But Saturn is kind of doing that anyway, because for a fishy, you're a mutable sign, you change your mind a lot, you're not sure, you can go with the flow, and all of a sudden Saturn's like, go with the flow. Get your feet in the mud and make some like grounded choices here. That's kind of the vibe. All right, hope that was enjoyable. Big hugs to you guys, and I will see you on the other side. New to my channel and you haven't liked my video, do it. Subscribe, please. Notifications bell. I have contests every month. If you hit the notifications bell and you come to the live premiere, you are in a draw. I've given away about at least a dozen free readings and prizes and contests and courses over the last 4 months alone. So give it a shot, give me a try. And if you check my description box below the video title, you'll see my courses, you'll see my offerings for readings, you'll see my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. I really encourage you to grab that because you get super discount codes for readings with me. You get early bird notice on all courses and everything I'm teaching. You get a bunch of perks. All right, and it's a weekly forecast newsletter. So you get the sky ahead from me writing up content for you about what I think you need to pay attention to. So a lot of that stuff never is here. I just write it. I don't do videos on that stuff. All right, thanks guys. Ciao, ciao.